From the Sportsplex at Matthews, it's Charlotte Independence and the Miami FC. Tonight's game is Military Appreciation Night and presented by Famous Toastery. Tonight's jerseys are going up for auction to benefit the American Legion. So go to charlotteindependence.com to see how you can help our veterans and take home a great game authentic jersey from your favorite player. With Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern. As we take a look at the Group G standings, this is the game in hand for Charlotte, a chance to go top of the group.
Everybody's been talking about it, Josh, because Charlotte Independence has been on a beautiful run. Birmingham Legion, not so much. Up and down. They have put the Independents in charge of their entire future going forward. 3 points tonight, top of the group, and then they go again.
Those standings presented by Duckworths. And for Charlotte, the player to watch presented by Toshiba, it's Jake Arman. He actually scored against Miami last time out.
Always been high on Jake Arman, and you have to understand that from a talent standpoint, it's always been there. He's needed the opportunity to have regular reps. Now, he was under the tutelage of Sasha Sarovsky at Maryland, transitioned to Monmouth where he finished out his collegiate career. But the past couple seasons, Mike Jeffries has had his hands on him, and now he has become the Swiss Army knife for the Charlotte Independents that, by the way, have really had the opportunity to take advantage of that out on that wing for Jake Arman. But it's been the change where they've gone from a 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1. They stack the forwards at top. Now they're in a three-back. Roberts, Lacroix, and Aaron Mond run the show, and then everything moves forward. There's a fluid transition. We'll get deeper into it later. They pack the midfield, but the most important thing here is by overloading the middle, they've actually gotten better defensively, Josh. Only one shutout in 3 games, but they only had 2 in the previous 10. Everything else has started to drop. It's only going to get better.
And on the other side for Miami FC, their player to watch presented by Toshiba is Harrison Heath.
Not a bunch of bright lights for Miami FC. They've struggled in performances. Results have been up and down. You can see glimpses of what this team should be. It just never has come to fruition. He's been consistent, though. He's their holding midfielder, great at set-piece opportunities. He's got wondrous vision. If they're going to get a result tonight, they need to be at their highest level when it comes to Harrison Heath in the middle of the park.
Well, Charlotte trying to go top of the group, but Miami trying to spoil the party tonight. Lineups and first kick coming up next. It's Group G versus Group H.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I love Chick-fil-A nuggets because the flavor is unparalleled. As soon as you bite into them, you're in a happy place. The seasoning is perfect.
Hey, I'm Giovanni, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A nuggets is that they're perfectly breaded. There's just that right amount of crisp. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's pure magic.
Back here at the Sportsplex at Matthews, it's Charlotte Independence, and it's the Miami FC. Tonight's game presented by Famous Toastery. So you take a look at our starting lineups, and we will start with Mike Jeffries, Charlotte Independence. It's presented by Adidas.
The main change is going to be Dane Kelly out, of course. Red carded in the North Carolina FC game while he's serving suspension. Derek Gebhard will step in to hold serve. Everything is about this back three and the overload of the midfield. Ortiz and Hackinson have created great relationships with their outside wingbacks, and I use that term lightly because they like to get forward, and this offensive attack has become much more potent. Not greatest against North Carolina FC, but they're still capable. North Carolina FC, Miami FC, what does Paul Dalglish's boys bring to the table? This is where it's going to be interesting. Is Harathan Heath going to sit as the lone soldier in the number 6 spot? They can rotate 2 in there. They can go flat. They've been in a 4-3-3 recently. This is the card that they turned in, but a lot of changes, 5 overall. Salmon, Roseboom, Prince Saidi, Brian James, and Mochel. Vincent Bezecourt is apparently leading the line. We'll see how that works out.
We are just about set to kick. Miami will be in those blue kits, and as we mentioned off the top, it is Military Appreciation Night, so Charlotte in those camo kits, and we are underway tonight. It's Charlotte Independent, and it's the Miami FC, and it is Miami starting in possession. And Brandon Miller already having to distribute out of the back through some pressure from this Miami FC side. Last time out for Miami, a 2-0 loss at Charleston. Charlotte Independence getting that big 1-0 win on the road at North Carolina FC. Tonight's referee is Kevin Broadley. Well, Independence fans, reserve your tickets today for the 2021 Independence season at the new Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. This beautiful new stadium will have all the modern amenities and be the home of your Charlotte Independence. $25 down per seat. Reserve your seat for what promises to be a historic season. Fans will choose their seats in the order that their deposits are received. Go to charlotteindependence.com to reserve your priority seating choice today. Mentioned as well, this is a really big game for Charlotte. This is their game in hand. They come in just below Birmingham in Group G, so a chance to go top of the group today for Mike Jeffries' side. And he told us this week that we fought hard for this opportunity, and they wanted to pay off here tonight. Foul behind the play, so they'll bring it back, and a free kick upcoming for Miami.
This definitely has to be one of the most improved squads in the entire USL Championship. Mike Jeffries and the Charlotte Independents. As the season gone on, overall performance has gotten much better. Of course, as we mentioned, the switch to the 3 at the back employed this width quite nicely, packing the midfield, finding a way to get Dane Kelly running downhill. They will be without his services tonight, but Mike Jeffries feels pretty confident in Derek Gebhardt.
There's Enzo Martinez right in the middle. He loses out. Charlotte side that has won 4 in a row coming into tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game presented by Harris Teeter Fuel Points. What do we got tonight, Devin?
3's company for Charlotte Independence because 3 at the back. Even though they spread it thin back there, they like to open things up wide. Still allows numbers to get forward and get back. And I really like the relationship that they've created. Now it's only 3 games running, but they can continue to build on it, gain more momentum. They will be a force to be reckoned with come playoff time. Miami FC, you got to finish what you started. It has been abysmal, to say the least. They are going to be disappointed. A lot of expectations coming in. It's over, it's done, it's dusted. There's still 3 games to finish out the year strong. Show everybody what you could be capable of come 2021. And if you're a player on the roster, you're also fighting for a spot come next season.
That's what Paul Dalglish has talked about with his team in prior weeks. Pretty much a tryout here for the rest of the season to see who will be this Miami FC team in the future. But Mike Jeffries still thinks this team will come out with some energy tonight. They do like to press high up the field, as you've already seen a little bit tonight. There's Gebhardt. Get into that wide position. Cross coming in. Ray Ortiz was in the middle. It's headed away. And Lloyd Sam thumps it clear.
Will be a different look that you'll see out of that front 3 when Atkinson, Ortiz, and Derek Gebhardt all start to rotate together. A bit more willing to venture out from where Dane Kelly would obviously normally occupy it.
There's a look at Mike Jeffries. the patented button down. I'm sure he's got a Swedish fish close by.
Look at him. Sight for sore eyes, Mike Jeffries.
Enzo Martinez wins it back. Looking to start an attack for Charlotte Independence. Back heel looking for Gebhard. Roseboom was there. Now all the way to the end line. Cross coming in. Indom missed it. Chance for Miami to get upfield and gain some time on the ball. Another attack here for the Independents. Gebhard's in the middle, the shot taken, and Mark Pace down to his left and makes a save for Miami. They look to counter. Prince Saidi down this left side, back in the starting lineup. He played against Charleston over the weekend. That was his first match since August 27th. He's been out with hamstring injury. So take a look at tonight's injury report brought to you by Novant Health. Across the country, healthcare heroes are working every day on the front lines of the fight against COVID-19. For the match, Charlotte Independence gave a 15-second round of applause for those healthcare heroes, and especially those that are long-term partners, Novant Health. Indom dribbling forward. Ray Ortiz comes away with it. Some space down that left side. We talked with Mike Jeffries about that change. We've kind of talked about a little bit the three at the back, but what does that enable this Charlotte team to be able to do?
It gives you the luxury to still remain defensively sound, but more importantly, get numbers forward. And that's one of the things that Charlotte Independence, not just this year, Josh, but previous years, they've struggled with the imagination once they've moved over half field, and specifically around the final third, 25, 30 yards from goal. It became too predictable. It was slow in build-up, great at holding possession, moving things side to side. But that quick-fire attack, the ability to find Dane Kelly or balls down into the channel, just really wasn't present. And now you have that, and you have it in a multitude of ways. You get looks from, of course, the wingbacks and Digament, Jay Garman. Midfielders, it just looks like 5 and 6 at times running a goal.
Saidi weaving in and out, and he just drags the shot wide. That was well done to get to that point, though, by Prince Saidi.
It's also not often that you have the back line spread out in such a manner, but watch as this ball comes back over the top. Hugh Roberts is actually going to chase back over here because Aaron Mon gets caught out. One-on-one situations, really difficult to handle Saidi because he is so tactful, great technician with the ball, but at the same point in time, he's got a lot of speed. Head's always going to be out of swivel. No runners to help out, so we knew it was always going to be isolated. Just keep an eye on the numbers for the Independents. And someone recently asked me today who I felt like the dark horses in the Eastern Conference would be. They're one of them. And it's got to be continued growth. You know, they have to get better at this system. But the change was so quick and abrupt, but seamless at the same point in time. They look like they've been playing in this system for quite some time. And it's a far cry from what we've seen in games past and years past, to be fair, from Mike Jeffries. Every single one of them. Enzo Martinez looks great dropping in deep next to Junior Eto. Clay Dimmick, Jake Arman down in the channels, but they also understand they can still compact in. Really impressed with what Ray Ortiz and Hackinson have been able to do. And of course, these are fluid relationships that are always ever changing. But the key point is to find a way to get it to Dane Kelly up top. That'll be the key question mark tonight. Without Dane Kelly and all the goals that he's put in the back of the net, 10 on the season, can they find a way to get a victory?
Shout for a foul there in the box. Instead, it's just a throw-in. We talked to Mike Jeffries about Enzo Martinez. He said he's given him a little bit of a role that's deeper than usual, but he's still linking everybody up there in the midfield.
He relishes in it now. He understands that by no means is it the twilight of his career, but he's no spring chicken. And he's using his role to advantage not only for his team, but for his body as well. He doesn't have to take the pounding, moving as far forward as he normally did.
Cross coming in. Oh, that was a big intervention by Roseboom. knocks it out for the first corner kick of the night. All corner kicks presented by Chick-fil-A. First chance to get some bodies forward. Aaron Mond did score from a set piece over the weekend. What a thumping header that was to give Charlotte Independence the lead. Here's the in-swinger. Headed on and just wide. They're asking for another another corner kick, and they will get one.
First time around, North Carolina FC. Aaron Mond, this time Hugh Roberts. Great job using height to his advantage. All 6'4" of them. Actually overjumps the ball, has to come down to it. The near post was wide open. Delightful service coming from Jake Arman out of the corner. Nice to see him back at it. Just watch the response from Miami FC. Notice they knocked the ball a little quickly early on. Scrambling a little bit here. They have tendencies in previous matches to switch off from time to time. That was a pretty good look at it.
Arman on Team of the Week in the past week. Here's another in-swinger. This one headed away. Shot coming in. Oh, Pace, he didn't see that, but he did get a hand on it to force it out for another corner kick. Junior Eto.
He just plucks this thing out of midair. Watch him line this up first time. Degree of difficulty is off the charts. Doesn't catch a deflection coming through. Doesn't matter. Watch Pace get low and on his right side. Does catch a little flick. This is a phenomenal save from the goalkeeper. That should be 1-0 Charlotte.
Complete reaction save. Another in-swinger, and Pace able to make the catch this time, and he'll look to spring the counterattack. There might be some space on that right side. Seide's in the middle. Bezecourt's on the ball, and he'll slow things up. There's been a bit of a change at goalkeeper this year for Miami FC. Brian Silvestre. Gamero's gotten in as well, but the past couple of games, Paul Dalglish had settled on Mark Pace. And he basically said, he played for me a lot last year. It's a guy I trust, and as a goalkeeper, that's saying a lot. You need that trust in between the pipes.
Inside 15 minutes in a match to make a save like that gives you confidence behind your squad that it's kind of wheeling and dealing right now. Reset your shape and up the communication here a little bit. Struggling with some of the rotation by Charlotte Independence. Heck of a save in traffic, though. Can't ask much more out of him.
So this one skips out of play looking for Dimmick. Independence fans, on September 26th, Novant Health will help us drive awareness for breast cancer and how you can help in the effort to find a cure. Please tune in to Kick Cancer Game and see how you can help us in the fight against breast cancer. Here goes Miami again. Seide might be in. Bit of a heavy first touch. That makes it easy for Brandon Miller. Push in the back as Eto went down.
Quick transition by Miami FC on one side. Charlotte Independence trying to repay the favor. Here's Junior Eto. Role a bit different than what we saw earlier this season. There's another one making the transition to a higher line. Of course, that is depending on exactly where Enzo Martinez is at any point in time. He would always just kind of sit behind a flat four and, you know, asked to win the big tackles. Now, a bit different.
Arman sends it in. Oh, good touch across by Roberts, and there's the finish. But the offside flag goes up. That was center back to center back. And Aaron Mond almost had his second goal in as many games.
The ball looks like it gets played forward here, which would be the issue. It's a great ball on the backside. That can't be it right there because Roberts is on right here. That's your look. I'll tell you.
It's close.
The gray area is putting it kindly. Really difficult one for the refereeing crew to judge. I mean, even having the luxury of replay, Josh, That's hard for us to pronounce as to whether or not we think it's onside or not. Very, very close.
Nonetheless, a very well-worked set piece by Charlotte. Just inches away. Miami FC looking to start the attack again. This time Aaron Mon just puts this almost out of play. It's kept in on this near side. Janos Luba. Seen Luba play up and down this left flank this season. Tonight in more of a defensive role. Independence fans, if you're looking for a place for your kids to play soccer, the Charlotte Independence Soccer Club has entry-level rec programs. As Derek Gebhard getting into the box, good save by Pays at the near post.
You got to wonder why Derek Gebhard doesn't square this ball back across, and this is what happens when you get someone who doesn't carry the same chemistry as Dane Kelly. This ball's got to come square. Stick this back across the 6-yard box. Luke Hackinson tucks it home for 1-0. Another great job by the goalkeeper recognizing that Gebhard's trying to cheat towards the near post. A couple opportunities here, just being pushed by the wayside by Charlotte Independence.
Here's Gebhard in his second stint with Charlotte Independence. Corner kick now again for Charlotte. Another in-swinger. This one over everybody's head. They're asking for a deflection, and it looks like they'll get another corner kick.
If you're at Miami FC, you've got to find a way to alleviate some of this pressure. It's too constant, and it all can't lie on that man's shoulders right there, Mark Pays. He understands that, of course, things are going to be asked of him, but a couple quality saves here. Opening 15 minutes so far. It's like a little help from that back line.
Another in-swinger upcoming. Towards the near post and headed away. It was a good header right into the path to start this counterattack. Sidey up ahead, and it hit his back heel. And Charlotte take it right back. Appeal for handball, it's waved away. Here's Bezecourt. Gonna get it wide for Mo Chow. Charlotte looking to get into the attack quickly again. Derek Gebhard.
This is the area that I was talking about where it changes so much. Now they're not able to counter. They slow it down, rightfully so. And watch as they start to maintain possession here. Where do the ideas start to come from? Much more difficult to break down a team in 40 yards of space.
Brought down well. Lloyd Sam still battling for it. Hackinson does win his team a corner. Bright young player, Luke Hackinson. Spent his college soccer in Creighton on loan from Nashville. Another corner kick for Charlotte. They're starting to mount here in the opening minutes. Bounces for Roberts. Right into the hands of Pays. The 5 corners for Charlotte Independence. Nothing yet for Miami. As James goes down.
can hear the shouts from the sideline from their manager. As Harrison Heath starts to spread it a little bit, asking them to keep the ball. Possession-oriented has always fared well for Miami FC. We've seen so far tonight that they're more than capable of countering, but the game slows down. What can they do? This is good. Much better for Miami FC. Just keep it moving, square, move it outside. Notice when they start to second guess their own shifting left to right, that's when it breaks down. Quick little one touches and they're just fine. They get in their own way.
Pressure to win it back high up the field from Charlotte. Now a throw-in. Paul Dalglish has said this season, time has helped bring this group together, but maybe just too little, too late. Had a good stretch of results kind of in the middle of the season. They did get a big win over this Charlotte Independent side back in Miami. But losses here in the past couple matches have eliminated them from playoff contention. And it's just kind of a weird season. They didn't play a whole lot at the beginning of the season. It was almost a backloaded schedule for them just in terms of games. And they paid the price for it. Injuries as well. As Hackinson goes down. Free kick just outside the area.
AFC have definitely been a head turner because of what they've brought to the table. You draw Atlanta United 2. Then you beat them on the road. You beat Charlotte at home, but they turn it around and get smacked by the Battery and Tampa Bay Rowdies. You've seen refs let them play on for less. Little nudge. Atkinson very active so far, both he and Ray Ortiz. Nice little 1-2 punch underneath Derek Gebhard. Shifting side to side right now. Just keep an eye. Hassan Ndam and Lance Roseboom. That goes back to their relationship. Roseboom, playing midfielder by trade, but has played on the back line this year. Got to be better, and just check out, we saw earlier, Junior Eto, top of the 18.
There he is, Eto on his left foot. Oh, he wasn't too far away, asking for a deflection. Went out for a goal kick instead.
Talk about switching off, Josh. I mean, everybody in the stadium could see that the space was there. Got to lean over this ball. Surprised that he actually hit it on the second touch. Thought maybe he just let this come across his body and have a go the first time. Momentum forces you up over the top of the ball in that situation. The minute you take that first touch, your hips start to open, your body starts to lean back, and as expected, up over the top of the bar.
Almost had your Tony Romo moment right there.
Right?
Here's Armin on the ball. Roseboom steps in. I should mention Hassan Ndam did play for Charlotte last season. Made 5 appearances for Mike Jeffrey's side. There's another giveaway. Enzo Martinez for Ray Ortiz. Scored a stunning goal a couple of weeks ago on the top of the box, Ray Ortiz. Martinez again, a little 1-2 with Gebhard. Miami starts something in terms of an attack. It's really only been Prince Saidi who's had those opportunities. Here is Saidi. Oh, he gets all the way to the end line. Cross, blocked away by Roberts, now in the middle. And sent out of play. Really close there by Miami, but a better attack as Bezecourt sends it out of play.
Started off well by Clay Dimmick, just slowing the space down, but then he gets turned every which way from Sunday. Great job by Saidi. Look at the quick footwork, down to the byline, back across. Again, the form by any of the strikers on either side of the ball, in or around goal, just hasn't been the best so far. Vincent Bezecourt the latest victim.
Fans, if you're coming to town for a match, the Hyatt Place downtown is the perfect place to stay. Located in uptown Charlotte, you'll find plenty of dining and entertainment for your pregame and postgame festivities. And over the top for Hackinson. Did go past that touchline, a throw in for Miami. We talked to Mike Jeffries about the quarter mark of the season before that 1-1 draw with Birmingham right here, where all those weather delays came into play in that game. But he said before that it was kind of a stop and start for them, and it took them a while to get moving in the right direction. But 4 games on the spin right now. This team's looking really good come playoff time. He just said it took some time to get going.
You have to realize that everybody's thinking right now, playoffs, 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 and I understand that, and they're not wrong. But any other year, you're right around a third of a way through the season. You know, the sample size so much different in 2020, given all the variables that are at play. And I've used this quote a couple times, Josh, but most coaches, when they walk through what they think their team will be after everything they've assembled in the offseason, players they've gone and gotten, players they've retained, 10 to 12 games is right around where they go, okay, this is what we could be. Charlotte Independents are right there. I mean, that is exactly where they're at right now. And it took Mike Jeffries the better portion of, say, 9 to figure out what they wanted to be, makes the change and says, you know what, that's not working for us, here's what we're gonna do. And now all of a sudden they're starting to string together some nice results. As you mentioned, 4 in a row. And to think that the most important for them is the fact that they control their own destiny. They are no longer worrying about what ghost can come back to haunt them because of a loss or a draw previously, because Birmingham Legion have done them a couple favors down the stretch. Just 1 point behind coming in tonight. As mentioned, get a victory, go atop the group. Just 2 games remaining.
And their final 2 games against Memphis and North Carolina, both teams that are eliminated from playoff contention. Bezecourt for Chow. It's sounding like we're going to get a Miami substitution. We'll get that in just a moment. And down the line for Bezecourt. Chow in the middle. Just pushed away there by Roberts, using that physicality. Gebhard gets pushed right in the back. Janos Luba didn't think so. And it will be the first sub of the match coming before the half-hour mark. Substitution brought to you by Smoothie King. It's Romario Williams coming in for Mo Chow. You'd suspect maybe picked up a slight knock, but I don't know.
He doesn't seem happy. And the funniest thing was just 30 seconds ago, he is down on the end line, and you can see visibly frustrated. There's a good look at him. Didn't want to come off. He was just challenging the back line moments ago. Maybe a bit of disconnect with he and his manager. Obviously, you hope it's not injury. There was some direction coming from the sideline of what they were asking him to do. I can tell you this, whether he heard it or not, I heard it, and it wasn't falling in line with what they were looking for up top. Regardless of what is currently at play, they make a change. lacking a presence up there for sure. And you know what they really need is they need a little help on the right. Prince Said's been good. Vincent Bezecourt's active. I'd like that. And then I'd like Brian James in the middle to get going a bit more as well. Harrison Heath and Granito making a nice little combination. But this left side that Brian James has started to fluctuate towards has to be better. Too many long balls right now, and they're great with the ball at their feet.
With Williams coming on, 6 goals this season. One of the biggest signings for Miami FC this offseason. Luba plays this ahead. Now it comes wide for Saidi. Long cross towards Granito. Enough to win a throw-in. It looks like we'll get that hydration break now, right at the half-hour mark. Nothing to split these two sides so far, 0-0. Group G against Group H in a big match for Charlotte in the fight for first place in Group G. And they are chasing the Birmingham Legion, who are not in action tonight. So this is the game in hand, and this is what lies ahead. They're both playing within their group, so you'd think 6 points for Charlotte, but who knows?
One home, one away. You got a preference of who you're playing? Because it's the same teams. No, think about it this way. Birmingham Legion, 2-1, so 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw in their past 5. And for me, it all comes down to the eye test at this point in time in the season, where I've been high on Birmingham Legion the entire year. I still think their ceiling is higher than the Charlotte Independents. The difference is performances recently have shown that the Independents are better. All that matters is the #1 spot. Gotta find a way to get results and get the #1, because you do not want to go on the road for your first game and have to go to Al Lang. If you're the #2 spot, you will face the Tampa Bay Rowdies come the first round of the playoffs, final 16.
You're counting out Charleston in that group. They got a game in hand.
I'm going as the results stand right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Stay on your side of the booth, all right? I actually, if I had to guess, I would bet that the Battery were going to win the group.
I still have that game against Loudoun that was postponed over the weekend, and there's a look at the Miami bench that is, I mean, that just kind of sums up the season right there. It's been a tough one for this Miami team, to say the least.
It's hard as well. You know, you've been eliminated. The performances haven't been that great. But you gotta buy in to what's going on here. Paul Dalglish asking on the sideline, how many passes can we make? It's one thing to say it. Now it's time to go do it. Because again, from a talent standpoint, this team is loaded. They have a massive amount of players with a boatload of pedigree. Just haven't been able to put it all together here.
We're hearing Brandon Miller did get that yellow card for dissent. So he is into the book. One more thing about the Group G standings. Right now, Charlotte and Birmingham, the same record of 7-3-4. They are 10 goals behind in goal difference. So it seems like Charlotte will have to win this group outright with points.
Go on, Prince. Go on, son. Good.
Still waiting for that opening goal. We've got great deals on fan gear right now at charlotteindependence.com. All in-stock items are now 30% off for a limited time. Official jerseys, hats, scarves, and much more. We've got everything a Charlotte fan would want to show your colors. Hayes takes this with his feet. Distributes for Luba.
It's a heck of a ball to play out of the back. It's a dangerous ball as well from Janos Luba, but great vision. Recognize that he had a little bit of help drifting back over there. And notice this is one thing that we haven't talked about yet. There's an impressive press that comes out of the Charlotte Independents when need be. When they've got the high line and the numbers are there, they'll go after it. That's probably been the one area that they've struggled with the most.
Great ball to spring Saidi into space. They'll pull this one back towards the penalty spot, and the shot is just wide. The reaction says it all by Tomas Granito.
And spot on, the separation of space causes a massive amount of concern. There's our man, Harrison Heath. Beautifully weighted ball down into the channel. Saidi with his speed understands where the back post run is coming from. You do everything right here. I mean, this is simple training ground stuff in your build-up play. All you got to do is finish it off. Once again, Miami FC just lacking that final bit of touch when it comes to execution.
The 6th least amount of goals scored this season in the league for Miami FC. You get this, they are tied with Pittsburgh Riverhounds in terms of goals scored, but Pittsburgh, they are tied for 3rd in terms of goals in the league, while you just mentioned Miami, they are tied for 28th with just 13. Shows you how clinical Pittsburgh has been this year, and Miami on the other side not.
Well, their conversion rate, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, is at 32%. No team has ever finished above 20.
That's remarkable.
It's insane. And now, conversely, on the other side of the ball for Miami FC, they're also only one of 3 teams that don't have a shutout this season. Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights are the other ones that can make claim to fame on that one. It's not a statistical category that you want to lead at all. 32%. Think about that, Josh. 32% is their conversion rate.
1/3 of their goals, or 1/3 of their shots that have turned into goals. That's remarkable.
And you're putting yourself up there with, you know, the record-breaking team of Phoenix Rising last year, FC Cincinnati the year before, Reno in 2017. All of those squads were 18, 19, 20%. Orange County with what Edie Voltson was able to do in 18 as well, the Western Conference champions. Pretty good company to be in.
No doubt. I wonder how far that Pittsburgh team can go in these playoffs this season, but they'll be matched up with that Indy, Louisville, St. Louis potentially group come the playoffs, the first couple of rounds. Shot from outside the box is blocked down by Roberts. Mario Williams trying to let loose.
Good. Force it back. Now just get your shape. Good, Fred.
You can hear the direction from Paul Dalglish.
Good.
Paul Dalglish, of course, stepping in for Nelson Vargas. He parted ways with after the first matchup against Tempe Rowdies earlier this season. We asked him a couple of weeks ago where he sees himself potentially in the future. Said he's really enjoying coaching right now. Ultimately, the decision isn't up to him what happens after this season, but he maybe down the road sees himself as more of a front office guy. But in the meantime, he said he's loving this coaching position.
He's going to be accustomed to it as well, as he was pretty much the driving force behind this entire group prior to their entrance into the USL Championship. Again, you can see the vision of what they're trying to do. The problem is sometimes it's just too many touches on the ball and they slow things down. Some good build-up play here and there, but got to release it quicker. Just like that. You don't need a 3rd touch. You barely need a 2nd one. One little touch and just keep this moving. And Charlotte Independents are more than happy to let this go side to side. Keep the game in front of them. As long as they're not getting pushed vertical, they'll be happy.
Driven ball in. Armin takes care of it.
Good.
They start a counterattack. Gebhard is on the end of it. There's 3 blue jerseys around him. And he's still able to keep possession. Now here come reinforcements. The shot coming, going wide.
The shout here is from Mike Jeffries. He wanted this ball outside to Ray Ortiz. Not necessarily sure I 100% agree. There is space to work with, but you're still got a lot of blue jerseys from Miami FC in the way. Even if this comes out to the side, you're closing down your angle. It's a pretty good look from Hackinson, and why not? You know, there's space there. Have a crack from distance. Haven't exactly seen much out of them offensively over the past 10 minutes.
And more so Miami getting into the attack. There's Heath right in the middle.
No, wide, Prince.
Nifty there by Saidi going down, but advantage being played. And that's one of those that's gray area. How long do you let the play go on? Because the cross did come in.
You can still, I was just going to say, and you're hearing the shout from Paul Dalglish. Now, you let them play advantage, the shot gets off, that's fine. You can still give a foul. Like, you can still card them. You don't have to award a spot kick. Understand that.
Well, they can come back on a dead ball and still give the card, right?
Well, what I'm saying is as the strike comes forward and the goalkeeper collects, you can still card the player for an offense that was not called for a foul.
Correct.
Because you let the advantage play on. An infraction did occur.
Saw the ref put his hand up for advantage. Saidi gets into the box. Dimmick was not letting Saidi get to that end line this time.
This is much better from Miami FC, though. Notice the outlet passes just aren't there for Charlotte Independence. Much better spacing when they are playing up top. It's not a massive amount of press. Their line is just high, so you basically got a back line that's sitting right at midfield. Previously, they were hovering 15, 20 yards inside the center circle. And they compress, long ball out, and then they have a lot more room to play with. It's a wide open game for them right now. Again, just speed up some of the decision making.
Go on, Romy! Go on, Romy! Get back in, Romy! Inside, right? Too easy. Go on, Romy!
Gebhard with Dimmick making the run up the right. Here comes that cross all the way through. It's brought down. Little back heel. Cross coming for Gebhard. Looked like it was just behind him. I think now they'll give that yellow card for the offense right outside the box where advantage was being played.
Good shout. Took him a bit of time, but well done.
It was the first dead ball since then.
Yeah, that's quality, though. Again, that could be a conversation coming from the AR on the sideline or possibly the fourth official. That is the right decision. Rough tackle all the way down in the corner. And how about the build-up play by the Charlotte Independence? And Ray Ortiz understood that the best option there was Jake Garman in the delayed run, but he didn't have enough room to take a step back and knock it all the way back across. Instead, you find Hackinson, great vision. Eyes in the back of his head, little 1-2 punch.
Gebhard all the way into the corner. And he's fouled. A free kick upcoming for Charlotte. And it was Dimmick who got that yellow card. That was given a couple minutes after the challenge.
Here is some of that build-up play we talked about. Lovely back heel. All the way back across. Derek Gebhard. It's that tiny little step, right? And he's got the pace for it as well. This all comes back to just not having the regular reps that Dane Kelly does. Kelly sticks that in the back of the net. And it's not because his potential is so much higher than Derek Gebhard. He's just understanding the ins and outs of the squad right now. There's a different flow when you play with someone regularly. Just a bit off there for Derek Gebhard.
Another in-swinger. Comes down for Eto. Shot is blocked. All the way back for Brandon Miller. Comes comes Romario Williams through the middle. He goes down. The referee says play on. And now Charlotte trying to turn defense into attack. Enzo Martinez. He'll tee one up. It's blocked away. Now Dimmick. For Ortiz, his cross. Cleared away as well.
Beautiful touch. Think about his strike that he hit out of the air, and then the one just coming to Enzo Martinez just now. Pretty impressive footwork by Democratic Republic of Congo National.
And a yellow card to Brian James. I think that's an accumulation yellow card there.
His hand caught in the cookie jar too many times. It's a foul. Little step over here as Dimmick starting to track his way back. You wonder, is this maybe the moment where momentum starts to switch? Charlotte Independence have fought their way back in. Distance is a bit further than they would like. Enzo Martinez always fancies himself, but coming from here, just see if Jake Arman takes off down to the corner. There's a lot of space down there. If you do move it, you've also got players just at the top of the 18, Junior Eto being one of them. But they have brought Aaron Vaughn and Hugh Roberts up.
It'll be Arman again. Headed on by, looks like Roberts, and out for a goal kick. Independence fans, reserve your tickets today for the 2021 Independence season at the new Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. This beautiful new stadium will have all the modern amenities and be the new home of your Charlotte Independence. $25 down per seat reserves your seats for what promises to be a historic season. Fans will choose their seats in the order that their deposits are received. So go to charlotteindependence.com to reserve your priority seating choice today.
Good. Well done, Lloyd. Don't foul. Good. Keep them in. Come back. Keep them in.
Plenty of direction tonight from Paul Dalgleish. There's Gebhard. Trying to dribble through a bunch of blue jerseys again. Eventually he commits the foul.
These are kind of the ones that get away from you just at the tail end of it, Josh. You feel like the half's done and dusted, and that's not the case whatsoever. Little shoulder charge on one side, hits his hand for sure on the other, but referee repays the favor. Feels like the initial challenge is the one that is the cause for concern. IMFC got to find a way to really utilize the center of the park a bit more. There's so much talent with Harrison Heath, Granito, and James on the inside. Just haven't been able to find combination play between those three.
Maybe a kind deflection, but then a heavy touch by Williams.
All of it's got to find that man right there, Mario Williams. Notice how deep he's dropping in to try and get involved in the run of play here. It's not the worst thing for Mario Williams, but at the same point in time, he's an out-and-out goal scorer just like Dane Kelly. Ball's got to be out in front of him. And if you want to play into him, it's got to be at the top of the 18, not 40 yards from net.
Last few seconds of this first half. Kevin Broadley looks at his watch. Maybe time for one more attack for Charlotte. Here they come, Hackinson. It's still Hackinson looking for a window, and he tried to slip it through for Ortiz. And then finally, there is the final whistle. We've reached halftime and a big second half upcoming for Charlotte.
The Charlotte Independence got to find that guy who was just on the ball, Luke Hackinson. He's wondrous, and their movement going forward has been at the best when they've used the width of the field. These balls being whipped in have been a real cause for concern for Miami FC. We already mentioned that they got to find a way to get their midfield three going. Harrison Heath active, Granito. I need more out of Brian James. And again, Romario Williams. He's got 6, basically scoring in 50% of his games for a reason. Find him. utilize all his skills to your advantage, because right now, you're asking too much of him coming 40 yards from net. That's not a recipe for success.
We have reached halftime here in Charlotte, and nothing to split these two sides. You have to say, the pressure is on the Independents tonight with first place up for grabs, but halftime from Charlotte, it's 0-0.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I love Chick-fil-A nuggets because the flavor is unparalleled. As soon as you bite into them, you're in a happy place. The seasoning is perfect.
Hey, I'm Giovanni, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A nuggets is that they're perfectly breaded. There's just that right amount of crisp. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's pure magic.
Tonight's game is Military Appreciation Night and presented by Famous Toastery. Tonight's jerseys are going up for auction to benefit the American Legion, so go to charlotteindependence.com to see how you can help our veterans and take home a great game-authentic jersey from your favorite player. Well, it's time for the dish. Let's see what Devin is serving up tonight.
2 weeks left in the race for the playoffs for the USL Championship. It's getting down and dirty. Let's clean it up for you. Charlotte Independence doing battle with North Carolina FC. Not a good look here. Dane Kelly goes down. Dane Kelly goes out. Charlotte Independence down to 10 men, but North Carolina FC is going to join him. Nazmi Al-Badawi, second yellow card of the night, 10v10. But just prior to this, 7 minutes after Kelly gets sent off, Aaron Mon gets his first goal in a Charlotte Independence uniform in 2020. 3 points. Victory tonight gets them atop of the group and the #1 coveted spot. Let's keep going. Louisville City on a ridiculous run at the end of this stretch. That is 2020. That is COVID. That is the winners of Louisville City. They want to go back to the final. Simple as that. Omby to Lancaster. Repay the favor. Lancaster's going to buy the drinks this time. Great ball down to the corner. Brian Omby. Saucy! Great finish, but the entire story was Cameron Lancaster. Grabs his second goal of the night. Grabs his 9th on the season, but joins an exclusive club. Only 10 have done it. He becomes number 10. 50 goals in his USL Championship career. Good on you, Cameron Lancaster. Let's have some fun. Let's go to Group B in the Western Conference. San Diego Loyal feeling some type of way about how good they've been recently. They go on the road. Phoenix doesn't lose at Casino, Arizona, right? Rubio Rubin had different ideas. Goal just a few minutes in, the third to be exact. It's rude, but let's get downright disastrously mean, filthy, obnoxiously rude. It doesn't matter how you say it. They go to 2-0. Junior Flemings claws them back within 1. All right, there's a possibility here. Again, Phoenix doesn't lose at home. Yep, yes they do. Rubio Rubin, first half hat trick. Got it to 3-1. Phoenix grabs a late one, doesn't matter. 3-2. Group B is wide open. I have no idea what to do. I don't know what kind of sauce it gets. It doesn't matter. Group F, Hartford Athletic, trying to keep pace with Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who won earlier that night. Ever Guzman, ball to Alex Dixon. Phenomenal finish. Plain and simple. Let's turn up the heat, though. Let's get going in this kitchen. Hartford Athletic 2-0. Jamoy Topi knocks it to the back of his own net. There's a late play to try and get it out, but it doesn't happen. And Alex Dixon goes 1v17 because he goes through his players, he goes through their players. It doesn't matter. Ends up right back at his feet. Hartford Athletic win 3-0. Big game on Saturday. They take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. As mentioned, Pittsburgh Riverhounds get the 1-0 victory. St. Louis FC, that's the look right now. Sporting Kansas City 2, they got it to 2-2 in the 86th minute. Sam Fink, nobody told him that this season was over. St. Louis FC get 3 points in the 95th from Captain Fantastic. San Antonio, okay. Pittsburgh, okay. Battery, okay. Reno, smacking Timbers 2 around a little bit, brought them back down to earth. The defiant Tacoma fighting Chris Littles on the road at Sacramento Republic. Up 3, tied 3, 3 points. Nope, 1-1, and that's all that matters. Highlights and stats when we come back.
What a beauty! It's fantastic! Sensational! Fantastic! Any way you slice it. This one he puts away, fires and scores. What an unbelievable strike. Oh, what a goal!
There's the shot, it scores! Attacking, shooting, and scoring!
Oakland. The town.
A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going,
But it's also where you come from. See, here, there's always room at the top.
where sky's the limit.
But roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges.
But we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here.
It's all eyes on we.
Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is Let's Go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love.
And the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
During this time of unprecedented challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, we'd like to thank the frontline workers at Harris Teeter for keeping our families, community, and team fed. Well, it is halftime between Charlotte and the Miami FC. Let's get into our USL News Notes brought to you by Toshiba. Cameron Lancaster, we were doing that game the other night. 50 goals, he did it in style.
Let's do this real quick, just because we're on a Charlotte Independence game, so there's your hint. Who's the #1 all time?
Dane Kelly.
Who's #2?
It's got to be...
Come on, Charlotte
boy.
Independence. Jorge Herrera. Father time.
You had to give me a sec.
Cameron Lancaster joining some quality company. Still a long way to go, and he catches up with Dane Kelly and Jorge Herrera, but good on him. And tip of the hat. That's my biggest talk right there. We already spoke about it on the dish. Let's go one step further. USL Championship Final makes its way to ESPN. We're on the mothership this year.
You and Mike Watts. That'll be a ton of fun as we take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by the Hyatt Place Hotel. Well, this is all that there is in Group G, but some big games for Charlotte especially.
Birmingham 3 losses on the years. One is at the hands of Charlotte Independence. The other 2, North Carolina FC. Go figure. For me, outside of Miami FC, it might be the most disappointing club in the USL Championship because of the expectations that I had for them.
Yep.
And I still can't believe that they're only sitting on 13 points.
As we take a look at the Group G standings presented by Duckworth, we've been talking about it all night. This is the game in hand. They've got to make it count.
Yeah, virtually right now they jumped to 25 points, but the big one, you already talked about it, goal differential. They would be sitting at +3 still. And you're 10 off the pace. They're not, I'll tell you right now, they're not going to bridge that gap either in this game or the next 2, barring something astronomically amazing. So, you got to find a way to just get results, and that's what it comes down to. Charleston Battery, of course, taking down the Miami FC over the weekend. Indy 11, St. Louis knotted up at halftime, and probably outside of the Eastern Conference, Indy St. Louis, game, that Los Dos San Diego Loyal, that Group B game, San Diego Loyal want a chance to hold on to that number 2 spot. They have to get 3 points tonight because they finish off their season next weekend at Phoenix.
And those scores brought to you by Da Vinci Jets. Well, it's halftime here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. 0-0 between Charlotte and Miami. The second half right around the corner.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I love Chick-fil-A nuggets because the flavor is unparalleled. As soon as you bite into them, you're in a happy place. The seasoning is perfect.
Hey, I'm Giovanni, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A nuggets is that they're perfectly breaded. There's just that right amount of crisp. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's pure magic.
It's halftime between Charlotte and the Miami FC as we are closing in on the second half as we take a look at the halftime highlights brought to you by Famous Toastery. And it starts off with the chance for Charlotte.
A great little press on the far sideline. Well done, and then they go with pace. This is where things have started to get much better for them. The transitional play. Atkinson trying to get a shot off. Not his best effort. Fast forward to the 11th minute. Junior Eto plucks this from the stars and tries to send it to the planets. This has glory and gold as he starts to creep in as this ball gets knocked back across. He's not offside there, and the flag doesn't go up immediately. And you can see the referee look to the sideline. It's still on. There's a touch here. Is it forward? Does it come off the defender? It's really hard to tell, and it's also hard to tell if Aaron Maughan's offside. Too close for us. We want to look back at the camera angles we had the luxury of. Couldn't see it. 22nd minute. Watch this foul at the top of the box. Silly mistakes by Miami FC in the first half. Gifted a couple set-piece opportunities, Charlotte Independence. I said, watch out twice. Hit this first time. Shift your body over, open your hips, lean over it. Instead, you take a second touch, lean it back up over the bar, and everything that was great for Charlotte Independence moving forward. When they were at their absolute best in the first half, they used the width, they made great decisions, and then watch this. Beautiful vision. Back heel Jake Arman, back ball across, and Derek Gebhard just a bit too late to the party. Curfew called early, and they can't finish this one off.
Well, no goals in that first 45 minutes. As we take a look at our halftime stats brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Miami FC still haven't put a ball on frame, and it's really been going Charlotte's way in terms of shots.
Also think about this, though, Josh, because you don't want to say they're dominating the game by any means. They're not. They've had the better looks going forward. These are the games come playoff time for one of those number 1 spots. You don't want to look back and go, what if? They're in jeopardy of that because although they've been better, it's still 0-0. It's anybody's game come the second 45 minutes.
And of course, without Dane Kelly tonight, a big omission due to that red card he picked up over the weekend. Could that play a big part in this second half as well as they look for that goal? Kevin Broadley is getting things all set for this second half. We are underway, 45 minutes to go, and it's a big 45 minutes for Charlotte Independence as they look to be independent at the top of Group G. And 3 points would take them there tonight. This stingy Miami FC side standing in their way. So what we'll give in this second half? And it's Hackinson right through the middle to start things off. Some pressure in the corner, but Lloyd Sam clears it. Remember, Romario Williams came on for Mo Chow in that first half. It was very distraught, Mo Chow, as he came off. The offside flag coming up on Ray Ortiz. Well, if you were a fly on the wall in that Charlotte Independence locker room, what do you think Mike Jeffries would have been saying to his team?
Just trust yourselves. They had some pretty impressive buildups in the first half. They have to be careful with the pace of Miami FC. I mentioned a couple times how good the Independents were when they used the width of the field, allowed themselves to play into this build-up play. Miami FC are great in transition right now. Again, some of the stuff that is just not able to tickle the nylon, stick it into the back of the net. That's kind of the way the season has gone. You have to understand that. You got to maintain confidence in yourself as well. Charlotte's just going to have to understand that, look, these long ones over the top, trust Duke Lacroix, Aaron Vaughn, Hugh Roberts. They're not afraid to take chances, and it can get them into trouble as well. You saw a little bit of that in the first half. They'll spread themselves pretty wide to allow Jake Arman and Clay Dimmick to help out the attack going forward. Just have to be careful.
Wide for Bezecourt. Trying to play a 1-2 with Tomas Granito. There's that press from Miami, which has made it a bit difficult for Charlotte to play out.
Position! Position! Good. Side on, Tommy. Side on, Tommy. Go on, Brett.
Prince Saidi was in an offside position.
Good. Go central.
If you take a look at the 538 odds for Charlotte Independence of finishing in first place or in second place, it's pretty much 50-50. But officially, it's 49% they finish in first place, 51% in second place. But a lot of that hinges on what they do tonight.
Brandon Miller didn't really have much to work with in the first half, did he?
No.
Not the worst thing for him. Actually made reference to him on 3 Honest Lads podcast, and I said, for me, he's the goalkeeper of the year right now for me. The amount of times that he's kept his teams in matches, he's not blowing you away with shutouts, just 3 on the year. Of course, the team in general only has 3. So he's their starter. But leads the league in saves, and that says something. You know, it's not always going to be the goalkeeper's fault. You like to think it is, and you play blame. But he's at another level. You know, this takes me back to how good his form was as goalkeeper of the year in 2015 under Bob Lilly when he was with Rochester Rhinos. Just making save after save, and this defensive line and shape is similar to that. From a talent standpoint, it's obviously very different. But I'm just not a big fan when people look and go, oh, he's got less goals against him. He's got the least amount of shutouts. Again, form is a big one that you always have to take a look at, because when you watch the overall run of play, as Mike Jeffries does, he's such a student at the game for so many years now. You can look at Brandon Miller and say, you know what? That guy's playing at a high level right now.
Challenge there behind the ball as Sam wins it back, but one more thing on Brandon Miller, just the second goalkeeper this season with 8 saves in a game. He did that against Miami. He had 54 saves coming into the match tonight. And Kevin Broadley has some cards to hand out. Looks like the first one will go to Harrison Heath for that challenge on the other end. That's good refereeing, going back and awarding those yellow cards after the advantage was taken care of.
I do also wonder, though, is it really advantage, though? I mean, watch the challenge that comes in here, and as they try and move forward, Junior Eto takes a touch, looks up. As he tries to start to play, the play breaks down. He's done a great job both times of coming back and dealing with the initial infraction, but instead, you don't really let them get advantage. There's a quick turnover. Miami goes the other way. And now they're the ones who are on the receiving end of a set-piece opportunity.
Well, and there's that gray area of how long do you let the advantage play on?
Yeah.
It's up to the referee's discretion.
Had a couple of those past couple nights. Putting it politely. Gotta be careful before I get myself in trouble.
So Harrison Heath, he can strike a ball for sure. Just a two-man wall. Plenty of options to aim at. He couldn't get it by Enzo Martinez. Enzo Martinez trying to clear that with a bicycle kick, and he'll win the ball back for his team anyway with looked like a handball. Independence fans, on September 26th, Novant Health will help us drive awareness for breast cancer and how you can help in the effort to find a cure. Please tune in to the Kick Cancer Game and see how you can help us in the fight against breast cancer.
Josh, given the time of year that we're at, I feel like we wouldn't be doing it justice if we didn't let everybody know what's going on around the league.
Absolutely.
Would you like me to
Playoff
do,
time.
Would you like me to do the honors?
Do the honors, my friend.
St. Louis FC at Indy 11 have scored. Russell Cicerone have put them up. Now, they're about 8 minutes ahead of us due to the slow start here. They have a lead at Lucas Oil in the 60th minute. Atlanta United 2, 4. New York Red Bull 2-2. 6 goals in the first half.
Wow.
And Hartford Athletic are up 1-0 in the 61st over Philadelphia Union 2. That'll be another matchup. Pittsburgh Riverhounds have bossed Hartford Athletic in back-to-back games, but they play on Saturday. There's a good chance Hartford Athletic could beat them once and end up as the #1 seed in that group. Go figure.
That's remarkable. As things stand in Group E, it's Indy 11 still. Oh, no, it's St. Louis who have now jumped them, correct? Yeah.
Your standings updated.
Yeah, they need to get updated. They're not live. Here we go. Charlotte, Enzo Martinez. His cross, oh, it's flicked in! Hackinson, but the flag up. You could see it come up right away. A nifty finish, though, from the youngster.
I told you this has been where they've been so much better. When the play breaks down to the top of the 18, they rotate this thing all the way back around. The finite spaces that they have to work with has just gone to a whole nother level. You could see him, solid 3 yards offside. Great job by the AR on the far touchline. Hackinson's got to have his head on a swivel there. Quick little peek over his shoulder. He'll recognize he's in uncharted territory. Still had space to work with as well.
Still a good finish, nonetheless. Another look at it. He was a good 3 yards offside. Well, at what point, if you're Mike Jeffries, do you start to push the game a little bit more and try to get that opening goal, which could be crucial in this match?
They're fine right now. Definitely been the benefactor of good form so far here in the second half. Still not the level he's looking for, but the other one's on the ball. They're dictating the tempo of the match. And again, one of those questionable decisions where Junior Eto has the ball out in front of him. Just continue this path moving forward. Instead, they bring it back to each their own.
Looks like a sub readying for Charlotte here in just a moment. The takeaway there from Enzo Martinez. Versus a giveaway from Lance Roseboom. Clay Dimmick. Martinez low ball in. Roseboom got a foot to it. It'll be the first sub of the night for Charlotte Independence. Ray Ortiz will come off. Valentin Sabella will come on. Or Sabella will be his 11th appearance here in 2020. That sub brought to you by Smoothie King.
Not the best performance by Ray Ortiz tonight, who's really been clipping at a high rate recently. Fortunately, the partnership between Derek Gebhard, he and Luke Hackinson never fully developed. Kind of a dejected look coming off the pitch, and it just seemed like every single touch, for one good, there was 3 bad. You understand it, 57 minutes into a match, you never want to depart.
Well, Mike Jeffries called that win over North Carolina over the weekend a gritty and a gutty performance, which gave his team a lot of confidence. Might just have to grind something out here tonight as well. But as we said, Miami still without a clean sheet this year, so you feel like a goal could be coming. Arman cutting in field, now Martinez. Working in tight spaces. He comes away with it. Sabella. Good tackle by Luba. Miami having a tough time clearing it out of this attacking third for Charlotte. They do concede a throw-in. Here's Sabella, now Gebhard. Another cross in. And it is dealt with by Endom. Romario Williams gets a touch. A good ball over the top to find some space for Bezecourt, but he couldn't bring it into his path.
Shout from Prince ID on the back shoulder has to be leave it here. Again, Romario Williams tracking all the way back, and whether it's the look you want out of him or not, he does a good job of switching this field of play all the way back over. Again, they just continue to get in their own way, Miami FC. I mentioned the one touch for Ray Ortiz and then 3 backwards. Miami FC's following suit in the same fashion, where you can kind of see the ideas start to matriculate onto the field, but then all of a sudden, take a couple steps backwards. Side-to-side movement. There's the look of Brian James on the far side. Double pivot coming out of he and Harrison Heath right now. Tomas Granito just dropping in front of them, but interestingly enough, Vincent Bezecourt, because he does have Romario Williams on that far side, he can now drop in, help overload the midfield, and challenge some of these runners from the Charlotte Independence, because Williams will be more than happy to step up into the 9.
Seems like this season that was been for Miami, how can we get the ball to Romario Williams? And that's really been some of their downfall.
Well, it makes you one-sided, right? You basically say to the opposition, here's our guy, come mark him. And it does go back to all the talent that they have, especially with what's on the field right now. You've got a lot of options to utilize in so many different ways. You've got pace, you've got vision, 2 technical players. But at no point in time does that really all come together. It's pretty much one-offs right now, and that's why they've really struggled.
A little dummy to let it run through for Gebhard. Roberts does such a good job controlling that back three, playing right in the middle. Martinez fends off Heath. That should be a corner kick, and it is. The first of this second half coming up for Charlotte Independence.
Let's see if they can pick out the Twin Towers. Hugh Roberts and Aaron Mon have done a really good job creating separation for themselves. Both of which standing well over 6 feet. Hugh Roberts, the bigger in stature for sure, but with a back line that's been struggling from these dead ball situations. We've seen some trickery. They've gone direct. Right now, I'm trying to find a way to set a pick for number 3 and number 18 in a Charlotte Independence jersey.
This is a Chick-fil-A corner kick, an in-swinger towards the near post. They got that flick on. There comes the shot off the woodwork. What a rocket. And a sub upcoming. It'll be Jalen Markey coming on. 25-year-old from Renton, Washington. It'll be Harrison Heath coming off as well. Looks like a whole host of substitutions upcoming. Markey, Gonzalez, Bezecourt coming off. Hector Morales will come on as well.
Body language doesn't tell you anything. How's that look?
All those subs brought to you by Smoothie King. Four subs and 2 substitution windows have been used for Miami FC. There's one more sub available for Paul Dalgleish. Just that lone sub so far for Charlotte. At a certain point, you feel like Kristen Cheney could be called upon. Bit of a different look it would give Charlotte.
You do start to also play in the hand of Charlotte Independence if you're Miami FC, where now you've out and out said, okay, we're moving Mario Williams to the 9. Sometimes you don't need to beat around the bush either. Just stick to what you're good at. Find the goal scorer, let him do his thing. The key question you have to ask is, what sort of roles are they going to be able to get out of Hector Morales and Jalen Markey? Tuck themselves into the midfield. Roseboom should, I would think, move himself higher. There's a good look, stepping central.
We've got great deals on fan gear right now at charlotteindependence.com. All in-stock items are now 30% off for a limited time. Official jerseys, hats, scarves, and much more. We've got everything a Charlotte fan want to show your colors. Let's go back and look at that corner kick again. Look at this shot.
This thing's moving. Watch this. I mean, he hits this so pure. Knuckles at the tail end of it. The ball has barely any rotation on it whatsoever. Valentin Sabella uncorks one. I wonder if that's a sign to come.
Trying to slip this in for Gebhard. Janos Luba, good job to let that run out for a goal kick. Independence fans, reserve your tickets today for the 2021 Independence season at the new Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. This beautiful new stadium will have all the modern amenities and be the new home of your Charlotte Independence. $25 down per seat reserves your seats for what promises to be a historic season. Fans will choose their seats in the order that their deposits are received, so go to charlotteindependence.com to reserve your priority seating choice today. Charlotte still probing this back line. Arman, cross coming in. This one headed away again. Now Williams looking to start in a counterattack. But Eto steps in to win it back for Charlotte. Enzo Martinez gets it into that wide position for Dimmick. Now Eto.
Notice there's no panic button here for the Independents, is there? Even if it doesn't go their way, little challenge on Enzo Martinez. Subby Hector Morales doesn't like it, but again, that's another look where whether the field's compressed or things start to break down, they're not as frantic as they used to be. There's a calmness about this squad and the belief that no matter which way the ball goes, they have the capability of reacting and making sure that they're the ones on the front foot.
Lloyd Sam trying to play out now for Miami. We talked about that Indy-St. Louis game a few moments ago. I can tell you that Indy has equalized. Hackshaw getting the goal. And St. Louis down to 10 men. It seems like St. Louis now also going down a man. Todd Wharton getting a red card. Here's another sub coming on. We expected it would probably come. Christian Cheney or Derek Gebhard. Looks like Hackinson will also come off. Guido Vidala also coming on, a guy you're kind of high on.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is he's the type of player that has to have the confidence to boost his performances, and that hasn't been the case in Guido Vidala. When it comes to Christian Cheney, now you're getting a body that can really throw their weight around up top for the Independents. It's the role that was asked of him in his times both at Sacramento Republic and Fresno, most recently Fresno.
Challenge coming in. Referee says play on. Here's Brian James through the middle. There's a giveaway from James, who was on his back. Trying to get in behind. Vidala on the turn. To that left foot, a curling effort that goes just high. Almost instant impact off the bench. The 23-year-old Argentine.
This all goes back to Miami FC's inability to pull the trigger. We're three different guys touching the ball 6 times in totality. All they have to do is hit one down into the corner. Side D wide open. Instead, Charlotte good pressure. They counter go the other direction. And Guido Vidala, once again, he's showing what he's capable of. 20 minutes to go. You feel like Charlotte Independents have a little bit of magic left in them. Who's going to be the one to pull the rabbit out of the hat?
Martinez plays it wide for Dimmick.
Just notice the rotation in the midfield right now. In the first half, you saw a lot more out of Enzo Martinez in terms of his link-up play with Junior Eto. He's starting to play a bit higher. Just keep an eye on that.
Cross coming in, and the ball was just a little bit behind the intended target.
Struggling with that build-up play just a tiny bit. And the look is different. It's no right or wrong, but it is something that Mike Jeffries admits that when Enzo Martinez starts to get frustrated, feels like he has to make a more personal impact on the game, he goes ball hunting. Plays a higher line, asks more out of himself offensively, and he doesn't always have to. Goes back to your initial point where he plays that more deep-lying role that seemed to suit them better throughout this match's entirety. Now, again, as you start to shift, so will Miami FC. So what's the response going to be from the visitors?
Another long cross coming in. He's going to touch to that. He did not. It's out for a goal kick. Sounds like one more sub. This will be the final sub of the match for Miami FC. And is Brenton Griffiths, the defender, coming on for Prince Saidi. He's been playing off that left flank so far tonight. This is defense for an attack.
You should get some musical chairs out of Janusz Luba, though. Playing a higher line, starts to step up a little bit here because they can move him into the interior. They can also push him out onto the wing. And with the Independents starting to feel themselves just inside 20 minutes to go, the attack's coming wave after wave. Need some fresh legs on the back line. Throw Brenton Griffiths back there. But you still have the attacking option in Janusz Luba just in front of him.
Enzo Martinez, good move to get around in Dom. Enzo Martinez sends it out of play. Is it just going to be one of those nights for Charlotte? The attacks keep coming. The finishing touches aren't.
This is a little look for him. Great touch. A little 1-2-3 by two of the substitutes, and of course their captain, Enzo Martinez. And right here, he's looking for some of the weak side help. Valentin Sabella does a good job bringing the run all the way back across, but it does two things. One, it opens up the space for Enzo, but it also eliminates his option. That's one where damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he stays outside, the middle will give Enzo Martinez a better look at goal, but it also still provides the support on the right. Conversely, we see the alternate and just can't get a simple shot on net. Gone are the days of Enzo Martinez pulling the trigger from 30 yards out and reaching into his back pocket for a human highlight reel.
Independence fans, if you're looking for a place for your kids to play soccer, the Charlotte Independent Soccer Club has entry-level rec programs all the way to nationally competitive programs. Visit independentsoccer.club for all the information. If you're a Charlotte or Miami fan, you have multiple screens. Tonight is the night to utilize them in the USL Championship. Hartford Athletic and Philadelphia Union 2 level at 1. Indy 11 and St. Louis FC level at 1. St. Louis FC down to 9 men. Major playoff implications across the league tonight. Of course, here, still 0-0 with Charlotte trying to go to the top of Group G. Then if you like goals, you can also turn on Atlanta 2. As this one slipped through and pays. There's nobody on that left side. Miami will be fine to let this trickle out of play. Remember, it was Miami who did knock off Charlotte Independence earlier on this season in Miami, a 2-1 win for Miami FC. Foul there, right as Enzo Martinez looked like he was carrying the ball away into the box.
Your body starts to question itself down the stretch here, Josh, and watch as the pressure starts to come. There's a tiny touch, and it's not off Enzo. It's actually the outstretched arm coming off Duke Lacroix. I told you this back three is not afraid to take chances. And that's your outside back that sit 3 flat normally, coming all the way up high to try and press. Just 15 to go. Charlotte Independence need a goal. They want to get that #1 spot, but haven't had a boatload of opportunities here in the second half. Seemed most like came in the first. Start off early, 11th minute. Watch Junior Eto. One time, Mark Pace. No thank you. He's not having any of it. This is a fantastic save by the goalkeeper from Miami FC.
Hayes coming up big there for Miami, and then so close, but just offside for Aaron Mond.
Again, I don't see it on the first one. It's this second one right here that probably has the best chance. Ball is traveling forward. If Aaron Mond is in an offside position and it's coming forward, that ball's got to be cut back across or directly square. They call it off, you stay at zeros. Fast forward to the 54th. Great vision, ball cut back across. And Enzo Martinez trying to find it. They don't panic. Once again, keeping things as simplistic as possible. And the problem is Luke Hackinson was sitting in an offside position. They're going to blow that one off. So 2 goals from the Charlotte Independence that don't count. And then an absolute rocket coming from Valentin Sabella. You cannot hit the ball any truer. Massive amount of force behind it. Stings off the woodwork. 69th minute. Let's turn up the heat a little bit again. Great job here. Guido Vidala, watch him track back, brings it back across the left side of his body. Trying to pick up that upper corner. Just leaning back and to his left. And the ball gets away from him.
It's been a game of near misses for Charlotte, but can they find that finish? Now 13 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Paul Dalglish has made all 5 of his substitutions. See if they can grind out a result tonight. Martinez falls kindly for him. Room on that right side to work. Here's Sabella. Cutting in field again. He'll switch the play. Jake Arman now. Right-footed cross, the header. We'll skip out of play. Fans, if you're coming to town for a match, the Hyatt Place downtown is the perfect place to stay. Located in uptown Charlotte, you'll find plenty of dining and entertainment for your pregame and postgame festivities.
What ball?
This one clipped up over the top. Hayes was keen to it.
It's not a bad idea, though. That's one where 25, 30 yards to goal. Really difficult to get everything right. Pace has got to be good. You got to get it to check up off this turf. And this time of night, the dew point, it does get a little extra skip to it.
A slight misplay at the back. Can Miami take advantage of it? Be a no.
Miami's got to be careful. This right side of their defense, left side for the Charlotte Independence. There's a lot of space over here right now. Just allowing Jake Arman to sit by his lonesome. And they see it just slow in transition to get it out here. And really like to see that cultivated a bit more between Jake Arman and Guido Vidala. Seems like Vidala's feeling pretty comfortable on the ball tonight, creating some quality opportunities for himself. Valentin Sabella would say the same.
10 minutes left. It's all about finding that crucial goal to give them those crucial 3 points. Mike Jeffries said it coming in. We've worked hard to get into this spot. They went into Birmingham recently, got a big 3-1 win. That was what they worked for. Sabella does win his team a corner kick. We've seen late goals here at the Sportsplex this season. We get another one tonight.
There was just a little blink from Valentin Sabella right over his shoulder as he went to the corner flag, almost as if he had something up his sleeve. They have been known to try and find that man right there on one of these late balls all the way to the backside, let him pluck it out of thin air. Difficult for sure.
Roberts, a little flick. Cheney might have got his head to it also. Good pass there by Eto. Cleared out for Martinez. Enzo Martinez right into the arms of Mark Pace. Still 2 subs available for Mike Jeffries. That one more window he has to work with. And we see Tresor Mbuyu, 23-year-old. Made 7 appearances this year. Another attacking option. Should Mike Jeffries want to turn to him? Trying to play it in behind. The offside flag comes up.
Notice as this game has gone on, especially in the past 5 to 7 minutes, how much more willing the teams have sort of decided to just knock the long balls instead.
Yep.
Combination play definitely not present as often as we saw in the opening 60 minutes or so. Glimpses ever since then, but everything's kind of, okay, you're getting tired. Lethargic play starting to creep in. It's almost spray the ball outside, let's knock one in with a hope and a prayer.
Dimick for Martinez. Right back for Dimick. In swinger for Cheney, and Dom was up for it. Contact there right at the edge of the area. It was Markey heading that away.
There's just center back throwing his weight around. Shoulder charge for sure, but watch. And Valentin Sabella comes up underneath the defender. Never going to get that call. Even with the elbow starting to come away from the body, you're undercutting a defender who's already on the rise for it. I've tried to get away with it, trust me, it doesn't work.
I'm sure you have.
It definitely doesn't work. This has sort of been the MO of Miami FC. There's these windows where you see good build-up play, some quality combination stuff, and then they fade. They're fading, and they're fading fast right now.
Played into the corner for Sabella. And Charlotte finally make one of these attacks pay off. Martinez. Dimick went down, and there's a foul at the back. That might be a card as well. It looks like it will be as Lubo went down.
There's loads of space for the independents to work with right now, and unfortunately, not making some of the best decisions. Guido Vidala letting his emotions get the best of him. As this rotates back through, this ball's got to be out in front. Dimick goes to ground, and then watch him track back across here. It's always one that gets me where even with Dimmick going down, you've still got numbers up high, and you've condensed the field for Miami FC into their own 18. Why not just hold your shape, push everybody in, and worst case scenario, they knock a long ball out, and you've got your high line in the back three with Lacroix, Roberts, and Aaron Mon ready to collect and then slam it right back in. Sort of what separates good teams from great teams, Josh. Those silly little mistakes down the stretch of matches like this.
But how much does Charlotte miss Dane Kelly right now? We're suspended with the red card, but such a big player for them this season. 10 goals and an assist. Here's Martinez. Vidal up ahead. He's just left behind him. Martinez went down, not enough for a whistle. As Miami settles things down, could they steal a late winner? I feel like for Charlotte, a draw would feel like a loss, almost certainly. What is at stake in Group G tonight? And a throw in deep in that corner coming up for Miami. Armin. He's fouled by Roseboom. Very well done by Jake Armin. He's been working hard. Those wingbacks, they work really hard running up and back all night long. Vidal up. I'm starting to run thin here on Charlotte. Here's Martinez. Lacroix. Sabella. Long driven cross all the way through. Uba got his head to it. Throw in now for Charlotte. Lacroix. Now Armin. One-on-one with Lloyd Sam. Armin's cross towards the back post. Once again over everybody's head. Here's Gonzalez. Chased by Lacroix.
And you don't want to be reckless here, Josh, but at the same point in time, a draw, and you talked about it, does them nothing. Obviously, you've got 2 more games to go after this, but virtually you're tied with points with Birmingham Legion. But then you go to wins, that's even. The goal differential, that's that 10-point gap that we talked about. They're sitting on plus 13, you're at plus 3. Most likely not going to be able to bring that back. So if you take a chance here.
Played in behind. Roberts got a crucial touch to it.
If you take a chance here and go after it and end up losing, you're only 1 point behind of Birmingham Legion. I mean, the draw really does nothing for you whatsoever.
Correct.
Go after it. Worst case scenario, you drop points to Miami. You're sitting 1 back of Birmingham Legion with 2 to go. even if you draw, you're still expecting Birmingham Legion to do something different, whether you win this game or not, because 2 wins down the stretch when you've drawn or when you've lost still get you the same amount of points. And regardless, you still need Birmingham Legion to do something different.
Charlotte, should they not get 3 points tonight, it'll be big Memphis fans and big North Carolina fans. And they're facing off against Birmingham.
And that Hartford Athletic Philadelphia Union team did go final 1-1. 99th minute of the Indy St. Louis game, still 1-1. St. Louis still at 9 men. They obviously aren't gifting them one back. Just wanted to say maybe, okay, did anybody else get thrown out? You get a card, you get a card. Oprah's attending the match tonight.
Get over the corners. Ryan James, let's lock them in here, Brian. Lock them in here.
On the other side for Miami, of course, not much to play for in terms of playoffs, but it should be their first clean sheet of the season. Still something to hang your hat on.
Look at all the space in the midfield right now. Game is ripe for the picking. Somebody just step on this. Don't even have to go to the exterior. Go right down Route 1 in the middle.
And now Lloyd Sam just trying to play keep away. Look at Martinez doing all that running to try to win it back. The referee will pull this back. A free kick upcoming. Maybe some frustration starting to come out here from Charlotte.
This is for the foul on Enzo Martinez. It's not the second one when he gets help. Watch as he tracks back in here. There's one, 100%. And he knows it. Not only is there the outstretched leg, he pulls the jersey as well. Right in front of both referees. Makes it easy for him.
Looks like the final sub for Charlotte waiting to come on. Looks like that is Mbuyu. Brian James will look to whip this one in. Didn't get by Martinez. Behind Eto, can he get there? He can, and he's fouled. Looks like they'll get that sub on right here. It's presented by Smoothie King. Tresor Mbuyu for Jake Arman. Last chance coming for Charlotte Independence. 1 minute to go. Miller will send this in. Pace makes the catch.
Get up! Get up! In! Get up! Get up! Get up!
Pace just sends this as far as he can. Idala cutting in field. And now Williams. Trying to catch Miller off his line. He won't do it. Just seconds remaining. Is there time for one last attack? Looks like there is. All set forward. Dimmick. Throw this in very quickly. We're way past the 4 minutes. Martinez for Cheney, a little bit too far out in front. Another ball coming in. Heading into the middle, Cheney, it's saved by Pace. Just didn't get enough power behind it.
There's the moment. Great job by the Independents and Mbuyu. Mike Jeffrey said, go out to the left-hand side, make it happen. He does. Last-ditch effort by Christian Cheney. Can't get it across the line. And for both of these squads, 1 point on the night. This is an opportunity loss for the Independents. Good on Miami FC for sticking into it, though.
Well, it's the first clean sheet of this 2020 campaign for Miami FC, and a disappointment tonight. It looks like there's still yellow cards to be handed out, and we'll go to Enzo Martinez. And we finish right where we started. Take a look at tonight's man of the match presented by Great Clips. Junior Eto, he was really good in the middle of the park.
Spectacular, and I mentioned how, previously in their alternate system, he would sit deep and just kind of go side to side. He does the same thing here, but more importantly, he actually starts to push this vertically where he gets Enzo Martinez, Hackinson, Sabella when he came on, finds a way to start to push this up top. So you're not looking at little 5-yard balls right to left. You're getting 10 and 15, breaking lines, moving him forward. 93% passing accuracy on the night. That doesn't hurt either.
We'll come back and wrap things up. It finishes scoreless here in Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I love Chick-fil-A nuggets because the flavor is unparalleled. As soon as you bite into them, you're in a happy place. The seasoning is perfect.
Hey, I'm Giovanni, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A nuggets is that they're perfectly breaded. There's just that right amount of crisp. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's pure magic.
On tonight's save of the game, presented by Pepsi, is Brandon Miller, who's made the most saves in the USL Championship this season, and he posts another clean sheet. As we take a look at our full-time highlights, they are brought to you by Famous Toaster, and we start early on. It's a chance from our man of the match, Junior Eto.
Pretty quality strike, and just to be able to get this on frame, yet alone pick out the corner you're trying to go for. As we mentioned quite a few times tonight, Paul Dalglish chose Mark Pace for a reason. Gets low and down to his right. Fantastic save. Is he off? Again, we've gone back multiple times. It's really difficult to tell at every angle we have the luxury of. Good ball back across. Aaron Mon finishes it off. Kevin Broadley calls it back, so we stay at zeros. Another unnecessary foul by Hassan Ndam down in the corner. Great little play. Coming off something that you practice on the pitch for sure. Junior Eto, the wonder strike that was the first time. Can't be Pace in the second one. Let's go to the second half. 54 minutes in. Notice a theme here. Charlotte Independence, a lot of opportunities. Enzo Martinez, love it. The old Enzo would have pulled the trigger right there. Instead, waits for this, recycles it back around. Hackinson, about 3 yards offside though. He's got to be smarter. Notice, his vision is locked in right in front of him. He's got to peek behind him because this is an easy sidestep, which ends up as their go-ahead goal. Instead, we stay knotted up at zeros. Watch this ball by Valentin Sabella. I mean, he just uncorks this thing. Sits up, go get it. Whew. It's moving too. Mark Pace, Lady Luck is the far post. You're welcome for that one. Couple more down the stretch. Good turn on a dime here by Vidala, upper corner. Can't get it. Down the stretch here, everything was just a tiny bit off. Much more tactful in the first half. The vision was better here. And the stats tell a heck of a story. 15 shots, 4 on target. Here's the thing to remember. That was 9-3 at halftime. So that's what I talk about. 6 more shots in the second half. Only 1 ended up on the 8x8. As the game went on, they weren't as good, they weren't as clean, and they really missed the presence of Dane Kelly up top.
Those full-time stats brought to you by Famous Toastery. Well, of course, fans, don't forget, reserve your tickets today for the 2021 Independence season at the new Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. This beautiful new stadium will have all the modern amenities and be the new home of your Charlotte Independence. $25 down per seat reserves your seats for what promises to be a historic season. Fans will choose their seats in the order that their deposits are received. So go to charlotteindependence.com to reserve your priority seating choice today. Well, that does it from Charlotte. Tonight's game was presented by Famous Toastery. Thanks for helping us salute the brave men and women of our armed forces tonight. Well, we finished right where we started. Drop points for both sides, but it'll be a little bit more heavy there for Charlotte Independence. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Charlotte, where it finishes 0-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.